Hello, and welcome to Plant Based Cooking with AARP Alabama. I'm and today we're cooking chili with Chef Kimberly McNair Brock. Chef Brock, how are you?
I'm doing great. How's everybody out there?
It's starting to feel a little bit like fall in the air, so I think it's great that we're doing a chili recipe. Folks, we
Yes.
want to remind you that AARP empowers people to choose how they live as they age. AARP is a nonpartisan 501c4 organization that has over 420,000 members in Alabama. AARP's role is to advocate for those 50 plus and their families. Since the pandemic began, we've been trying to offer entertainment for you at home so that you can participate. Um, the cooking series is one of those things where we've been lucky enough to find a chef who will come in and do these recipes in the studio so that we can share them with you. So, Chef Brock, I know the folks came to get this chili recipe, and I'm going to let you get started. Nobody wants to hear me talk, okay?
Sounds good. So today we're making a spicy warm chili, and it is plant-based, of course. So this actually does not have any beans in it, believe it or not. So we're going to start with our mushrooms. I've got some portobello mushrooms or baby portobello, and I'm just breaking them apart. They don't have to be any specific way. And always, like I say, you can use other mushrooms if you don't like these or if you have a preferred taste on something else you want to use. And basically, it's going to be chopped down, so you're not going to be able to tell what kind of mushroom it is. So we're going to put this in our food processor. And this whole recipe is sort of in stages. So we're going to blitz this for a few pulses. To just have, so I did it maybe about 8 times. I'll do it a couple more. And basically, you're just giving it a meaty texture. And then I'm going to take this off here and put the contents inside this bowl. And everything's going to be incorporated into this bowl. Now, this dish technically is raw vegan. If you are familiar with that, the ingredients are not heated past 118 degrees. But if you make enough, which I've doubled this recipe, then you can save some in the refrigerator. And then if you want to warm some, you can warm it up. Now, you might think, okay, well, how do they eat warm chili? A lot of things that warm the body are peppers. So cayenne would be a great addition, cayenne pepper to this if you wanted to get the benefits so you aren't cold, okay? But just as when you heat it up, you want to make sure you don't heat it up too high or past a certain point. So the next stage that we have, we're going to add to the food processor. We've got some red bell pepper here, some local red bell peppers I found. Okay, and we've got a couple of small carrots. You can use one big one. And you're just going to rough chop them because they're going in the food processor, but you kind of want to make everything sort of the same size. And so I'm just going to do a rough chop. All right, and I'm putting this in with some celery. This is one celery stalk that I've already chopped up. Okay, and this is a peeled carrot. And if you all have any questions, just drop them in the chat. This is pre-recorded, and so we will get to your questions and respond to them accordingly. So we're just rough chopping, like I said, this last little carrot. We're going to blitz it in the food processor. Okay. Dump that in. Uh-oh. Luckily, I didn't need that part anyway. Blitz this. Like I said, just to your desired texture that you want. Okay. Into small pieces. A little bit more. And I'm going to take a look at it, see if it's where I want it to be. And that's good. I'm going to do a little bit more. And to each step, we're going to add a little bonus thing here. So you can use our spice blend, but today I've got it separated. So I'm going to add a little salt, a little black pepper, and a little granulated garlic. All right. And we're just going to season this in stages. So I'm going to mix that around. And you know how I'm always talking about layering your flavors, so that's what we're doing here. Okay. All right. Let me do one more quick thing, guys. Sorry about that. The love of technology. Make a sound. So here it is. We've got our peppers, carrots, and celery. So we're going to put this in the bowl. On top of the mushrooms. And then we're going to lightly season them and mix the seasoning into there. So you don't have to wash this out every time because all of it's going to be combined together at the end. So it's all good. Okay. And I'm going to add my pepper, sea salt, a little bit more of that, and our granulated garlic. Not a ton, just a little. Right. Just want to kind of mix that in a little bit. Get that incorporated. All right, so I'm getting quite a few dishes here. I'm going to set these aside. I'm going with our next step. So what we have here, we've got some walnuts. All right. And then we have some sun-dried tomatoes. These sun-dried tomatoes have been soaked in warm water. You can do them overnight, but at least do them an hour. Put that in. Okay. And we're going to add a half a jalapeno. This is about a half an onion. It was a fairly large onion. And some Roma tomatoes. You can use beefsteak tomatoes. You can use whatever tomatoes that you have or you like, because nobody's going to know the difference. And so to this, we're going to now add some of our other spices and ingredients. All right. My measuring spoons. So, oh, there's garlic in here too, by the way. So we're going to add some salt and pepper to taste. So again, I'm going to just add a little pinch of that to there. And a little black pepper. Okay. Then we're going to add a teaspoon of cumin. Already smelling good. Start getting the spices going. That's where it's at. All right, then we're going to add some chili powder. And you can add 1 or 2 teaspoons. Chili powder tends to be pretty strong. So I'm going to add 1 here. And then when I taste it later, if I feel like it needs more, actually we can do 1.5. Then I can add the other half in. So it will give you that smokiness that you're looking for. All right, so we've got that in, and now we're going to add our coconut aminos or Worcestershire sauce. Now, There are vegan Worcestershire sauces, and I don't have one here with me, so I'm going to use the trusty oldie but goldie. And you could do 1 teaspoon of the Worcestershire and a teaspoon of the coconut aminos. Just mix it up however you like to do it, the flavor profile that you're looking for, trying to achieve. You want to get 1 teaspoon of your cider vinegar. Okay. Okay. And that's it. So in here we have our walnuts, and I've got some other flavorings too to see if we need to enhance it on down the way. But we have our walnuts, tomatoes, sun-dried tomatoes, onions, garlic, cider vinegar. We did Worcestershire instead of the aminos, chili powder, cumin, jalapeno, salt, and pepper. And you can add water in here too if you want it to be a different texture. So we may do that. So I'm going to put this on so it'll really kind of get wet. And I'm going to put a little water in here. Take a look at it. And so this is probably 1/3 cup of water. I think we're going to add all of that in. And scrape down the sides. And so in doing this, you're thinking, oh, you're adding nuts in here. Well, we're pretty much pureeing this part of it fairly smoothly. It's sort of like the base of the chili because you got your tomatoes and everything. It's the wet part. Okay. Put that back on. All right. So we're going to check our seasonings and taste that. Okay. See if we need to adjust anything. It's really good. I'm going to puree it just a little bit longer. Okay. So we're going to scrape this off and get started. So really, you could serve this right now after you combine it all together. But we are going to heat it for you because I know a lot of people are like, I want mine hot. So we're just going to heat it for a little bit in our induction burner. I'm going to go ahead and plug that in. Okay. Today has been a day of little mini challenges, so we're going to get through it. And you can add more liquid if you want. I'm going to stir all of this together and just see how much moisture has been pulled out. And then just adjust. And I might put some water right in here to sort of rinse this out and make sure I get all of the good, yummy deliciousness out of this container. Set that there. I'm going to move this food processor out of our way. Ugh. And pull this over. Okay. Turn this on. Gonna mix this up really good, really well. Get our mushrooms mixed in and celery and carrots. And if you want to add beans to yours, you certainly can add beans to yours. It's just whatever you prefer. So I'm going to taste this a little bit. Again, just a little. It's really good. Add a little bit more liquid in here. I would say all total, I'm probably adding about a cup. But like I said, you do it to your taste. Add a little bit at a time, and then you can come up with what you find is where your sweet spot is. And again, this recipe is doubled, so probably adding more because I have more volume. Okay. So to this, we're just going to add a little bit, just enough to kind of put in our bowl over there. So it's a hearty chili. So we just want to kind of heat this through just a little bit. And heating through those spices is going to warm everything up and make it a little hotter as well. Okay. And literally, you're just warming everything because it doesn't have to be cooked and killed. You want to leave some of the nutrients in here. And again, if you all have any questions, just leave them in the chat and we will answer them. So that's it. I think that is a good place to stop. And we're going to add this to our bowl here. And I've got a couple of fun things that we're going to add to toppings to this chili. I'll just add all this in. Okay. Just gonna sit this up here. Okay. And I'm going to now add something to this so we can have great toppings on our chili. So I've got some fresh oregano here that I'm just going to chop up really finely. A few scallions. Just going to cut on the bias like that. Put that in. And then some of our roasted corn that we like to use a lot. And nearing the end of one of our corn seasons. And so I'm going to add these fresh herbs. Scallions. And a little bit of roasted corn. And this is all raw living food, you guys. It's really just a treat for your mouth. Party for your mouth. All right. I'll sprinkle a little corn on top. And I promise you will not miss the beans or the meat. And there you have it. Our spicy warm chili.
pretty good, Chef. I heard you say if you wanted to, you could add beans.
Mm-hmm.
So would that be like just thinking a 16-ounce can of beans, or would it just depend on how much chili you decide to make?
Right. To this amount that I did, I would just do, just a regular small can, and you may not use it all. And it also depends on, like some canned beans, they're packed in what essentially is like a brine sort of consistency, and then some is really heavy and thick, which is a little gross, but it would be different. So if you got something that's sort of in a briny texture, you want to take that out and you want to rinse those beans, and
Okay.
then you may start with half of it.
All right. Thank you.
Hmm.
Well, I appreciate the lessons that you've given us today. And again, folks, if you'll drop your questions into chat, we'll get answers and send it back to you. Thank you. Have a good day.